Good morning, everybody. This is Henry. Today is the non-farm payroll Friday, one of the most volatile days for Forex traders. Right now it's 8:20, so we're just about 10 minutes now to the non-farm payroll release, and basically the estimate for non-farm payroll is around 185,000 of positive release. Just remember, if we get 185,000, there is no element of surprise. Even though it is a strong and positive release, but then again, if there's no surprise, market should not move as the movement should have been priced in at the time of release. If we get everything as expected, then market could just reverse a little bit because of the profit taken for early on this week. Now, if we get a little bit worse, then we could see the market react. If we get a little better, market could also react in the same direction. That's why we have a deviation of 250K, which will really be a positive surprise. And I think if we do get that number, it will give us another chance to buy the pound yen or even the dollar yen as we move forward. So that's the plan. And we're going to wait for the number, and we're not going to do any kind of spike trading. My experience with spike trading, especially with this non-farm payroll, it's always crazy. We're going to wait for retracement. We're going to wait patiently for the market to push it. And when the market comes down, that's when we're going to be jumping in. And of course, the only argument for a possible worse than expected release is the ADP number that we got early on this week. And that is the only thing that's kind of iffy in my mind, that we might actually get a worse number today. But as I wrote in the analysis on this release, 62 economists surveyed by Bloomberg, they all agree that the number is going to be surprisingly good. So they have a estimate of 185,000. So I think that the number is likely to go as expected, around 185. But, this is not from payroll. Nobody really knows what happens. And I think the key also has to do with the census workers, because if you look at the last 2 months, the census numbers were very low. I think it was like 10 or 15,000 of census workers were calculated in this. And just judging at the number today, 185 positive number, how much of those will be census workers? I think that would also be considered. If the majority number came out from the temporary hiring, as for the census workers, I think market may not be very kind to these numbers. So there's a lot of things to consider. We just have to look at the number, see how the market trade, follow our plan, do the retracement trade, and then go from there. Alright, coming up anytime. By the way, the estimates are all over the place, from anywhere from negative 40 to positive 360. So it's all over the place. We'll just have to remain calm. So just stand by. We'll look at the best currency to trade afterwards.
162,000 and 9.7%. Again, payrolls
162, 9.7%.
Census prior advised higher to minus 14,000 from minus 36,000. Manufacturing at 17,000 versus 15,000 expected. Prior advised 5,000 higher, 6,000 from 1,000. And unemployment at 9.7% is unchanged from the prior, which was unrevised. Hourly earnings at minus 0.1%, 0.3 lower than expected. Prior advised 1/10 higher to 0.2%. The weekly hours at 34.0, 1/10 higher than expected. Prior advised 1/10 higher to 33.9. Labor Department saying excluding census workers, March payrolls increased by 114,000.
It came out 162,000 versus 185 that we're waiting for. So it's a little bit worse than expected, about 23,000 worse than expected. However, the census hiring is only 48,000. So that is basically adding a boost now to the release. We have the unemployment rate staying on target at 9.7%, which is pretty good. And the average hourly earnings came out about negative 0.1% versus 0.2% of expectation. So we have immediately a reaction in the market to go down with a little bit of a risk aversion type of movement. And we have since then recovered and now started to move up in the area of risk appetite. So basically the market has been pretty much having a lot of volume, but just nowhere to go. I'm not seeing any kind of direction right now. We see, as you can see with dollar yen, went down 36 pips. We're now 39 pips. Now we're back to where we started. Well, a little bit better than where we started, about 31, 32 pips. Pound yen is also showing a little bit of gain. Went as high as 143.95. Right now we're sitting around 143.71. I think the direction is obviously to go up, because if you look at the market, you follow the market, you see that the direction is likely to move up. So, but we're not going to be jumping in unless we get a decent enough retracement. So by looking at the market, you can see pound at 530, yen at 160. I'm referring to the strength meter, by the way. So I'm going to be more inclined to trade the pound yen. Let me see how the market is doing. We have a movement up to 143.94. Now we're down about the 69. Let's see if the market could come down to maybe the 143.50 or even below for us to be entering a long order. So I'm going to wait right now for the market retracement. So right now we're seeing a little bit of retracement coming back in the market. Not too much, but if possible, I like to see the market give us below the 50s before we actually jump in. And especially with this kind of number, one cannot be too sure. I think around the 30s, you will make a good choice for us to be jumping in if I can get the market to retrace on the pound yen on the 30s. And we're also seeing the dollar yen is showing a little bit of retracement. The pound dollar is showing a little bit of weakness. So hopefully that will drive the number down, and that will give us a possible chance to go long on this trade. I like to think because of the low number on the census hiring, I think it is a positive report. The release on the unemployment number is at 9.7%, which is good. The revision from last month was negative 36K. It was revised up to negative 14K. So we have about 22 better. So pretty much we are looking at a good release here. The only thing I'm unsure is the fact that, we don't see that kind of conviction initially. The market is moving up and it moved down, and because of that, I want to be a little bit more careful, and let's wait for a good retracement. Alright guys, I think it's a good time now to be jumping on an entry, so I'm going to go ahead and buy the GY right now. Alright, so we're in between 57 and 58. We're going to close this one manually. So when I say close, just go ahead and close your trade. It is a fast moving market, so just follow my instruction and look at this trade. Good everyone, I just took 20 pips off from my trade and off on 50%, so we're now going to be looking to take the rest of them. I'm still haven't entered a stop loss on my trade, and the reason being is, of course, we're going to be keeping an eye on this trade. So I want to see if we can get 40, 50 pips on the remainder of the position. Alright guys, I'm going to take my profit here. I'm going to get out of the trade completely. I think the reversal is coming, so I'm going to get out of the trade now.